As we zoom out and zoom back in for the border war. This image was taken back in 1917, where Kansas beat Missouri 27-3. This is a very interesting contest as it returns for the first time since 2011 for the 121st border war between, again, Kansas and a ranked Missouri team here at your Sports Outpost, number 23. Nice win, 61-3 against Central Arkansas for another year with Eli Drinkwitz. Lance Leopold beat Wagner with his Jayhawks 46-7. The week before, they opened up week 0 against Fresno State at home, 31-7. That was somewhat of an impressive win. They really only allowed that 7 points in that opening drive, and it was all Jayhawks defense. But I guess the big question is, how is KU going to cope with the injuries they have at the moment? Early on in the season, they've already lost at least maybe a linebacker in this, or it might be doubtful, Bengali Kamara. And then you already have news out that Joseph Sip Jr. might not add that extra depth that they might need there in the front department of that defense. That might be an issue, even though Missouri technically also has an injury for themselves. Their backup quarterback is going to be out extensively, which could be an issue because Bo Piprola, it was kind of a running kind of guy. He might get hurt at any point at any part of the season. But on top of that, their kicker, he is going to be out. I believe he tore his ACL, if I'm not mistaken. So they're going to be a little bit makeshift in special teams. So that might be an issue in key moments where Missouri has to kick the ball. Who knows? That might be a thing. But you guys, Missouri's ground attack, I think, is going to be something to watch this season. Even though Ahmed Hardy didn't get off to that great of a start in the first half against Central Arkansas, it's more or less the beginning of the third quarter where he helped get that 100 yards for his first game as a Tiger. Nice rushing touchdown to end that drive as well. Bo Biprola had 65 yards on the ground himself. He's a guy where if he could find that lane, let's say it's a pass play that there's nothing there for him, I think he's going to be able to make up the difference. And on top of that, evade pressure. The very, very athletic young man that they have there. With the revival of the border war, I think the big thing that we're going to see here on Kansas kind of hitting a wall, and that big wall is going to be the Missouri offensive line. You got Kevin Tross, who comes in from Wake Forest, Connor Tullison, who's been a longtime center, Caden Green, who came in from OU last season, is now a staple there at left guard. Got Dominic Dice, a guy that got not a lot of starts, but a decent amount of starts at Michigan. He starts in at right guard. These guys are going to, I think, be the big difference along with some of the other guys we're going to talk about because they're the number 13 line here at your Sports Outpost. They are going to also allow Bo Piprola to distribute the ball through the air with whatever Kansas throws at him. Because especially if the Jayhawks can't provide any kind of defensive pressures in passing plays, it's going to be a very, very bad time for the Birds of Lawrence. Then we also get to Marquise Johnson, who popped off this past week. 5 receptions for 134 yards. And then on top of that, you have Kevin Coleman Jr., who comes in from Mississippi State. He had 6 receptions for, I think, around 54 yards. He's going to be kind of the guy when it gets real quiet for Missouri to kind of like re-explode the offense, I think. And then obviously you have Johnson there, who's going to, I think he's more of the Luther Burden of this offense, who moved on to the NFL. And then Coleman's going to be more of the Weiss, who's also moved on to the NFL. So you like that 1-2 combo there at wideout. But then also there's a factor for the Jayhawks and Jalen Daniels. He's going to have to ball out this game. He had some pretty good stats, obviously, against Wagner State, an FCS opponent. But he had 176 yards through the air, 47 on the ground against Fresno State. In a game where technically I don't think he played the whole 4 quarters. I think they eventually put out second team towards the end. But yeah, he's gonna have to ball out. He's gonna have to really show up to be the difference maker here. Even though I do like the running backs of LaShawn Williams and Daniel Hillshaw Jr., those two guys also need to play perfect. Even when there's missed blocks, missed assignments there, they need to find those extra yardage on the ground. And unfortunately, if Jalen Daniels is having to scramble a little too much, because he might get overwhelmed by this defensive front that Missouri does have. You have Wilson the second that comes in from Georgia. He had 2 sacks last week. He's probably going to have another sack or 2 in him on Jalen Daniels, no matter what. I mean, Jalen Daniels could be as athletic as he is, but you know, this rushing attack. You have Zion Young, who came in from Michigan State the year before, and then the veteran guys in the interior on top of that. This is where I think the game is going to be won and lost on those part of the trenches. And then they're going to have to try to keep up with what Missouri throws at them. And it's going to be a big old block of those offensive linemen that we just talked about. We think Mizzou is going to win. This is our biggest points difference in this prediction for the Border War re-debut by 17 points. Again, Missouri is only favored by 6.5. I think this is going to be the same case that Baylor ran into last week for their opening season, where you have, again, a bunch of guys that have played with each other for the last couple of seasons. That's nice and all, but they're just not going to have enough talent to keep up with Missouri. I think the big difference maker, and again, I already mentioned Kevin Coleman Jr., he's going to be the drive mover to allow a Missouri get out of like lulling out or stalling out on offense. He's just a big guy in the short passing game that I think Bull Pipola can get bailed out by throughout not just this game, but throughout the 2025 season. So yeah, we got Kansas going down to Columbia, Missouri, and losing in the revival of the border war between these two. Again, the 121st. But we'll see who wins, as we are going with Missouri. As we zoom out.